This is a beginner GameMaker Studio 2 tutorial. We're going to be making color Pong from scratch. It's kind of a twist on the classic Pong, but it's a little different. If you're new to GameMaker or it's been a while or you're just looking to brush up on some programming basics like functions and arrays, that's awesome, cool, you made it. If you're looking for a little more intermediate content, I post full streams of speedrunning making different games in GameMaker, so please check that out and like and subscribe and stuff. Okay, let's get into it. This is how to make color Pong in 37 minutes. So we're going to open GameMaker Studio 2, select New, Game, Blank Game. We're going to give it a project name and click Let's Go. I'm going to start the time as soon as I press Let's Go. Put down my water, and boom. So open this. Let's leave this. We're going to go to Rooms, select Room 1. It gives us a width and height here. I'm just going to do something a little bit more workable. That should be good. We can make this big now. Let's zoom in a little. I want to make our grids a little bit of a different size, so we'll do 50 by 50. Based on this, I can start making assumptions about the size things should be. So the ball that goes in Pong will be like one of these squares. I think a paddle should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably 5. So let's go into Sprites and start making that. So from the side here, just pull up my window. From the side here, we'll click Sprites, right-click that, create Sprite. We'll rename it something like Sprite Paddle. Go to click this little thing right here to edit the size. We're going to deselect maintain aspect ratio. And then what did we say? 50 by, I think 5, so that's 250. Apply. Okay, yeah, that looks about right. We'll come in here to edit image, select the paint bucket tool, a white to start off with. And there we go. If we come back here to the sprite, by selecting it from here, we see that the 0th frame is this this white color. But we're making color Pong, right? So we want to put in more colors. So I'm going to select the frame, copy, Control-C, and then Control-V. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Delete one of those. Yeah, it starts at 0 and goes to 7, right? So if we come in here to edit image, we can now edit all of these individually by selecting them up here. So the first one we'll leave white, the second one, and we'll just kind of go down the list here to keep it easy for ourselves. So this would be yellow, this will be green, this will be light blue, this will be dark blue, be like this pink color. This will be red. Okay, now we have these different color paddles, right? We need to make another object, so we'll create another sprite. This one needs to be 50 by 50. We can maintain the aspect ratio. Just put in that 50 once. Click apply. Now we'll edit image. We'll select the circle. And then for the first frame, it's going to be white still. Start at the very top, hold down shift, and drag to the very bottom. Perfect. So I just started right there at the top, drag to the bottom. Now we have our first frame for this. So we'll go back to Sprite. I also forgot to name it. We'll name this Sprite Ball. Yeah. So we have this frame here. We'll copy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Set 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that stops at frame 7. Okay, and same thing. So we'll edit image. And then go through, whoops, it's not right. Select the paint bucket, yellow, green, light blue, dark blue, this magenta, and then red. Okay, cool. Now that we have that worked out, we can start creating some object. I think that's all the sprites we're going to need for now. So we'll go into Object, Create Object, and this would be, let's start with Object Player. And then the sprite will be Sprite Paddle, right? If I load this in right now into a room and click play, it's going to take a second. It always does the first time it starts. Yeah, it's just that all of those colors mixing together, that's pretty wild. I don't think that's what we're going for here. So we're going to go into object player in the create event, and that's going to be as soon as this object is created, as soon as you load the game. We're going to set the image speed equals 0, and then image index equals 0. And we don't really need to do that. It's going to start at 0 no matter what, but just for peace of mind, and when you move on and do bigger projects, you're probably going to want to put that in. Yeah. So we can do the same thing, make another object, create object, and then this will be object ball. Select the sprite ball, and then in the same create event, put a create event for object ball, same thing, image speed equals 0, image index equals 0. Now we can take this object player, since it has a sprite, and just kind of all of the stuff that we want to create for the object enemy, we can just duplicate from here. So we'll select this, duplicate, name this object enemy, perfect. Now, if we drag these all out, I don't remember what this was. Oh, one more thing, we're probably going to want to put some code that's not connected to anything else. So we're going to put that inside of a controller object. So we'll create object and call this object controller. And we don't need to give it a sprite. Now we always want to make sure that it's the first thing in the room. So with nothing else in, it will always be the first thing up here. But let's say I had these here, and then I accidentally deleted this. Well, we can just drag it back out and change the order in this little side thing here to bring object controller back to the top there. That should work. Sometimes it has been a little iffy with me in the past, but that's the way it's supposed to work. Yeah, I think it's time to start programming some things in. Just really quickly, I want to make sure on these sprites that I've set the correct origin. The origin is where I want it to be. So right now it thinks that this sprite is just basically exists right here and everything else builds off of that. That's fine, but I kind of want that to be in the center. And I can see right here it splits it into 25 and 125. We're going to use that number 125 in a minute. So I'll just keep that in my mind. Same thing with sprite ball. Probably want to make sure this is in the middle center. And as for the collision mask, you see that because it's a circle object, the collision mask on it is still a square. So we want to come here in mode, change it to manual, then change this to ellipse. And then I like to just kind of drag it in a little bit. I feel like that just tends to look more realistic in video games. So that's my thing. I don't know. You might not think that. All up to you. Okay, we'll come back here into, so let's see, what's the first thing we want to do? We'll just line these up, make sure they're both kind of at the end here. I guess give movement, right? What's the first thing we want to give movement to? Let's give movement to object player. So we'll come into here to the create event, and what we want when a key down, when there's a key down, when the key is down, key down, down, we want the Y to go up. This will put it up every frame. I think that's going to be kind of too slow. So if I click into this, I go down. Yeah, see, that's kind of too slow. And so I really want this to be something more like plus equals 10. But I want things to move kind of at a global speed. So I'm going to come back here into Object Controller, Add Event, Create, and then I'm going to set a global. So I'm going to say global.mspeed equals 10, right? Now, that global, that I'm creating a variable with a global on it, so that means that it'll work across the game as long as that object controller is in the room. I don't think that's true. You can set it up in like an initial... That's for a more advanced thing. Okay, so global.mspeed equals 10. We can come back to our object player and say y plus equals global.mspeed. Press play. And there we go. It moves faster. But you see, it keeps moving all the way off. We don't want that. We want it to, like, stop. So we're going to say if y is greater than, okay, so if y is, what is it? Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, I got this. This is so easy. Room height, and then minus 125, right? Because we're trying to get back to the middle point of this, because that's the origin, that's where the y really exists. So if y is less than or equal to room height minus 25, less than, minus? Yeah, I think that's right. Let's test it and see. Sometimes the simple signs get me. So, yep, that stops right there, right? Perfect. Now we need to move up, so we'll do kind of the same thing. Key down, up. We can come back here and say, now it's if y is greater than or equal to just 125, right? That's if y, the y for the room starts at 0, and then 120, yeah, you get it. And then y minus equals global.mspeed. Then we come back here, load it. Then it stops there, stops there. Okay. Cool. Now that we've got that movement, we have to do some of the ball movement. Let me pull up my notes. Okay, so the first thing we want to set up in object ball in this create event, right, is we want to give it some speed. So this is how fast it's going to start moving. Initial speed equals global.mspeed. The next is we're going to give it the angle that it starts off. This is all in the create event, right? So we're going to give it a random angle to start with. So I can't. Okay. Right? Okay. So its initial speed is going to be global.mspeed, and then the angle that it starts off is a random range between 45 and 135. So now we're going to set up the initial horizontal speed and vertical speed. So we're going to break up, because we want it to kind of bounce in between, right? So we're going to break up the horizontal speed and vertical speed into variables that exist within GameMaker. So there's really no shorthand around this. You can just type in things if you're like speed, and you can, you know, like this is what I made and stuff like that. But you can kind of get a sense of either the function or maybe the hidden variable. I don't know what it's called that you need, or just watch stuff like this. I learned this from either watching tutorials or like ChatGPT. So anyways, speaking of, this length direction right here. Oh. There we go. This length direction x, that's a function that's built into GameMaker. I can't explain exactly how the function works, except that it takes the arguments of the initial speed and the angle, and it determines the direction of x based on that. And then we set the h speed to be that. And then we're going to do the same thing with v speed y, initial speed, angle. And so now, click play. If I can click play. Oh. Okay, yeah, it's giving me the error that the global.mspeed is not set before reading it, I think. And so that would be an issue where in this room, this object controller is not being initialized before the other objects. I think I want to make sure it's not a typo, so I'm going to load it again. So here, yeah, for object ball, global variable name mspeed index not set before reading it. Initial speed equals global.mspeed. I just want to make sure that I set all of this up right? Global.mspeed, object controller, global.mspeed. It's not a typo, right? Okay. So, just going to try deleting this object out and dragging it back into the room. This is why it's a good idea just to make sure that your object controller is set up in the beginning. Yep, okay, that worked fine. I have to like grab it before. No, I was too late. Okay. It's just bouncing, it's going, it's flying off too fast. So we want to give it some we want it to bounce off the wall, right? We basically wanted to change its horizontal direction when it bounces. So we're going to come over to object ball and add a step event. So this is if the y for the object, and we're just, I know it's in the middle, but it's fine, is less than 0. Y equals, so if y is less than 0, then we're just going to reset it to 0. And then say h speed, horizontal, v speed, v speed. V speed equals negative v speed. And then opposite, right? If y is greater than room height, y equals room height, and v speed equals negative v speed. So now if I can grab this fast enough, okay. So now we have the ball that bounces off the object but goes straight through the player, right? So we need some kind of collision on this. So where do I want to add this? Yeah, okay. Add events. Yeah. So we'll add the event here for collision object player. Oh. I gotta just write this out first. Okay, so there we go. Basically, we don't just want it to like bounce off and change directly where it bounced off. We want it to kind of like include in where it hits on the paddle. So we're going to change the y of the paddle since it's in the middle. So depending on the distance from the middle and an angle factor, which is just something that we decide how much we want the angle to change, that's what we're going to set the v speed to. So we're not just setting it to the opposite. We're kind of using a little bit of algebra to figure out how far it is from the center of the paddle and then adjust the angle from there. Yeah, okay, and we just want to make sure to do the same thing, I think, for object enemy. So add collision. Okay, then we just want to make sure this is object enemy. So the distance from center is y minus y object enemy angle factor. Okay. That should be good for that. We have to give our object enemy some kind of AI, right? So that the paddle moves. It tries to track and follow the ball. So we'll add a step event here inside object enemy. And what do we want this to say? Something like the if instance exists object ball. So since we're going to be using the position of object ball to determine stuff, we just want to make sure do not run this unless this instance is for sure in this room. So if object ball dot y is less than y, and this is the movement for it, right? So if it's less than, I got to change this around. So if y is greater than object ball dot y, then y minus minus, right? Y minus equals global dot m speed. Now, the only problem with this is then it's a perfect player, right? It's always moving exactly where it needs to go. So I think the easiest way around that is just to make it a little slower, divided by 3. And then we can copy this. We really want to make sure this is in an else statement, else if, and then y plus equals. Let's see how this looks. This should give us the basics of Pong. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's look at this again. So, collision with... Oh. My bad. I do need to change directions as well. Okay, so I hit the ball. Yeah, it just changes the vertical direction of it, right? So click play here. And then there we go. Okay, he's not that good at it. They're not that good at it. So we probably need to adjust this a little bit. Probably divided by 2. If we really wanted to get fancy, we could actually change those so it does better like going up or down. Okay. In this object ball... Oh, we need some scores, right? So global.player score equals 0. Global.enemy score equals 0. We'll come over here, fonts, create font. I'm going to use a font called HandJet. It's free on Google Fonts. It's like googlefonts.com or just Google Fonts. And that's where I got this from. I'm pretty sure it's free for commercial projects as well. It might not be. Check the license on it. We'll just set that to 60. That should be fine. In this object controller, we want to add a draw. And then where do we want to draw this? Something like in, right? In from these. So let's say like 100. Probably where it starts. Let's see. So draw, set, color. Ooh. I want to do one more thing. I'm just setting this up for later. We're going to set a variable text color and then say draw, set color, text color. Oh, okay. So this is where we need to create an array, right? We want these colors to change too, and we'll get to the color changing part. I don't have very much time left. I want to get this done in. So we'll create a color array. This will be like C white, C aqua. What were they? Oh, geez. Yellow, green, aqua, blue, magenta, red. 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 Perfect. So we'll come back here, see white, see yellow, see aqua, see blue, see... It's not magenta, not in here. What? Why? Fuchsia? Fine. See red. Color R equals. Right, so this is how an array works. It is included inside of these things, and it has values like this. And then you can access and say color R, and then this thing, and then say like 2, and that would return 2. 3, and it would return. This is. So if I had like A, B, C, D, and E, and I said color R3, that equals, well, okay. So it starts at 0, right? So it's 0, 1, 2, 3. So that would be D. That sort of thing. So yeah, now that we have these colors saved in an array, we have an original text color. So we say color R text color. So it's saying inside of here is text color, that's 0. And that just means that we have to update the text color to change where in the array and what color it will pick up, right? Ooh. Gonna make 2 of these. Okay. Draw text. First it's X and Y values. So what did we say? Like 50 down. No, 100 is the X, 50 is the Y. And then what oh, global dot player scores first. I just want to make sure that I can set 2 different colors here. So we're going to set the color again. But this time change it to a 2. And then we'll draw our text. And this time instead of 100, oh no. 100 is X? Yeah, okay. So now it's room width minus 100. And we should probably make it a little further because it's going to start on that side. And this is enemy score. Now that we have these, we can go into object ball, create a step event, and say if y is less than, let's say like 150, just make sure it's out of the room a little bit. Negative 50 to make sure it's out of the room a little bit. If y is less than negative 50, global dot enemy score plus plus and instance destroy because we want to get rid of the ball. Oh, first we want to make a new one, right? So instance create layer. And then we have to do X and Y values. I just want to set it to the middle. So room width divided by 2, room height divided by 2. The layer that it's going on, which is instances. And then finally, the object. So increase the enemy score, create a new layer, then instance destroy. Other way around, if y is greater than room width plus 50, global.player score goes up. Same thing, make a new ball, destroy the instance. Okay, now we should have working Pong. Oh, can I make it? Okay. Nothing happened. Huh. Because this shouldn't be X, this should be Y. Duh. That's Y. That's up and down. You know, you make the weirdest mistakes when you're trying to move fast. Okay. So there we go. There we go. My score increased. Ooh, that looks kind of jittery. Okay. I really want to let's let them win. Okay. I want to fix that jitter. And also this where object controller. This needs to be more like 180. I can fix that jitter by they will only move down or up if they're outside of the end speed distance. And then Y. I think I want to change this to like, no, you know what, it's fine. It's hard enough. Okay. 30 minutes in and we have Pong, but we don't have color Pong. Also, that looks like a real bad error. Okay. We could fix that, but I don't want to. That's still jittering, huh? Because this should be y. No, those should both be plus, right? If y is great. Let's move on and then we'll come back and do some testing and fixing later. Okay, so we just have to change some things in here, right? We have this image index. Oh yeah, let's just build a random function real quick. So function random color. Oh wait, we can just do this. Return random range 0 through what was it, 6? Because it starts at it's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. So now we have this function random color and it will return one of those numbers. So if we come in here to object ball and on these step events right here, we can say image index equals random color. I've never tried this before, but I mean this is how it works. So, and now when it bounces off up or down, it should. Nope. Really? Oh, because this is in the draw event. That's bad. So we'll take that, put this back in the create event where it should be. And now, let's see if this works. Okay, well, you know what? There's no reason to make a function for one piece of code anyways, right? Let's just do it the other way. So here, just this. So now when it bounces off, it changes color. Hey! That's cool. So now, I actually don't want it to change back to white. So we're just gonna up that one value. And yeah, when it collides, right? Object enemy dot image index equals object ball dot image index. And this should be the other way. Yeah, and it changes. But I did something wrong. Let's see. So object player, object player. Okay. So now when it collides, boom, changes the color of what the ball is. That's fun. Okay. Just for fun, let's try throwing in another one. I think that might be Interesting game. Yeah. Oh, I like this. They don't collide with each other, though. Okay. Well, that's fun. Huh. I think just got to change out these colors, I think. So text color equals 0, text color equals 0. We'll create a step event. Step event. Since we removed that white, we can say if first if instance exists. It's always good to have that checked. Object player. Text color 1 equals index dot. Oh, yeah. Text color 1 equals image index dot. We're so close to being done. I'm messing it up. Object player. Okay. We have a create event. We have text color 1. Actually, it looks like that. Do another one. Object enemy. Text color 2. Text color 2. Object enemy. Okay. So now I should get rid of that other one. Oh, the colors aren't right though. The yellow is correct. Blue is correct. It's changing it. I'm gonna say it's good enough. Let's watch it one more time before I call time. Oh, I gotta get that other ball out of there. Quick reminder that GameMaker is free, so you could go make this for free. There we go. That's moving much more smoothly. Okay. Boom. I think that's good. Let me just there, click that. Drag this over. Okay, and time. He's too good. He's too good. I can't win. Yeah, thanks for watching. That's how to make color Pong, a thing that I just made up in 37 minutes. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope you enjoyed watching this as much as I did making it. That's a lame thing to say. I'm just gonna go. Bye.